Hey everybody, this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. Happy October. I wanted to share this one last video of my projects for Colorcast Designs, my last two. I was the guest designer for September, and I already shared one video with two projects, and now, like I said, this is going to be the other two. This particular collage of photos is pretty much already done for me, but the reason that I have a collage is because of the fall shenanigans piece. I immediately thought of all the different adventures that we have done over the years and decided to make a collage of favorite photos from fall throughout the years. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, right? But I'm going to put a little twist on it in that I printed some of the photos, and that way I can pop dot them, make them a little different. And I also left a few squares blank so that way I can add in some acrylics and wood veneers and also a journaling spot. I also have a pattern paper down at the bottom that is from a Tracy Reed kit that I will use to kind of anchor both of the pieces together. And that way it provides some of that cohesion. Now, the pattern paper did not line up the way I wanted, so it looks a little different on the left and the right, but that's okay. I mean, it's those minute details that nobody is going to notice, right? Nobody's going to notice. But what I did to find these photos was I looked in my iPhone and I clicked the search function and I typed in fall, and it brought up all the photos that thought were fall, which was really helpful because for the most part it was right on target for fall type photos, so it made it super quick and easy to find the photos that I wanted. So I went all the way back to 2009, I believe, and just picked out like a photo from each season. So I think in total I've covered about 9 or 10 years here, so it's really cool to have all these photos in one spot, and then I can add them to our family story album. And I did rearrange a few of the photos so that way they were in different spots. Like the one of my kids on the tire swing, I needed to move that up to the top right corner because I realized when I punched the holes, it would be right through my son's section where my son was sitting on the tire swing, and I didn't want that. So I found a photo that has hay bales, and I was able to punch that. My kids used to run through this hay maze and like strike a pose at the end, and I loved it. And they let me do it for several years, and you can see that pose in the bottom row of photos. So it's the best. And then, of course, that tire swing photo I absolutely love with the kids, and I think that is going to be a process video for another fall project that I never got to share. I decided to move over that family photo with the hints of red to cover up the soccer photo of my son. Soccer is definitely a part of our fall season, but I couldn't find like a great photo of soccer. So I figured, you know what, I will just cover that photo up and I can always do a soccer page later on at some point. But I feel like I don't get enough soccer photos because my son's always in action, right? And I don't have like a zoom camera, but that's okay. I was able to cover it up and rearrange some of the spots using, the trick of printing out the photos. So I'm going to add a wood veneer to the left side and also the right side, plus one of those really cool acrylic leaves. Then I decided, to add a little more detail to each of the embellishment squares. I will add a little bit of stamping using a Mandy Ford stamp set, and that will just add just a little extra oomph and detail to my project. I also remembered to punch the holes since I always forget that. But this is the stamp set from Mandy Ford. I love Mandy Ford's printables. I will probably have a video with some more projects using a new fall kit from her later on this week. But she comes up with these stamp sets for Studio Calico. So far, she's done spring, summer, and fall. And so I can't wait to see what the winter stamp set is going to be. So the little stamp that I used was just like X marks, but it almost looks a little bit like little stitches. So I loved that. Also added a word that says noted, and that way I can jot down my thoughts on fall and how much we love fall around here. I said it's a favorite, and I love looking back at our fall shenanigans. We truly try to make the most of this season. There's trips to Apple Hill, visiting the pumpkin patch, and other places in our area. And it really is always an adventure, and I love decorating for the season, going to get fresh apples, going on hikes, and just enjoying family time. So through my journaling, I kind of made a bullet point list of all the different things that we do in the fall season, not necessarily detailing every single photo, but just hitting the highlights of what most of those photos mean. And then that's it. This little collage portion is done, and now I can work on the insert. Since the collage was so busy, I decided to break up the collage with this vellum insert, and that way I could really let the beautiful fall shenanigans piece shine on its own. So I am just adhering all kinds of double-sided adhesive tape, and that way I can make sure that it hopefully sticks for a very, very long time. I will also use some glue for the shenanigans portion, and then just press it down, and it can be right in the center. And I love using the eyelet tool. It has like a poker on the end, and that helps me to peel up the strips of adhesive. So works great for me because I just cannot get them to lift up with just my fingernail. Adding in a little bit more glue, just because, like I said, I want to make sure that it sticks, and then I can place it down and the spread will be completely done. And I'm so glad to have had the opportunity to not only be the guest designer, but just to play with these pieces and have like an intentional piece that helped spark this really special story for my family, because fall is really our favorite, and there's so many fun traditions, probably tied with Christmas. And that's probably why Christmas and December documenting is so important and fun for me. So I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing this project, and I think it will inspire you to pull out all of your fall photos and find a way to document your shenanigans. All right, so that's how it looks all together, and I'll show you it later on at the end when I do both projects. So this one's going to be super, super simple. I have this really beautiful photo of some leaves that I was playing with, and I made a heart. It was at a park. Well, the photo was taken at a park, and it's this red tree that is so pretty, and I look forward to seeing it change every year. And once it changes, I have to go take photos, of course. Now, it usually doesn't change till maybe November, because, fall takes forever to get here in California, like I've mentioned. So I played with the leaves, made a heart, and then I decided to blow that photo up really big, and then do a 3.5 by 2.5 inch collage over on the right hand side, and leave a lot of room for white space. At first I was like, oh, this is too plain, because white space, I guess, isn't my normal, but having that white space balanced out the really large photo. So I used an acrylic leaf on the left-hand side, and also a wood veneer piece that says autumn is a second spring, when every leaf is a flower below the acrylic leaf, and then up at the top it says hello autumn. Autumn Splendor is a wood veneer piece that I put in the middle of my heart, and I decided to just add a little bit of almost a definition to the sides of the collage with some stamped phrases. I did ask a friend to take a look at the spread. I'm like, what is this spread missing? And I had pulled some stamp sets, and I was kind of thinking I'd stamp a border at the bottom, but she suggested just keep it simple and add a few phrases. And I'm like, you're right, I'll just keep it simple. So I did fall vibes on the left-hand side and feels like fall over on the right-hand side, and one tiny phrase that says a cozy fall day to adhere above autumn splendor. And that's it, you guys. So simple and so easy, and now I can put it into my own personal me album. So I just love fall documenting, and it can be simple and easy, or it can be lots of collages and different pieces. I hope that you have enjoyed. I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.